One Savannah, Georgia is one of the cities the American Institute of Parapsychology gets the most reports about. It has that perfect combination of a deep history, and a lot of underground water, that make it a perfect place to stick around. The Mercer House was the home of Jim Williams, a voodoo practicing antiques dealer and the main character in Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. The home is said to be haunted by the man he allegedly killed in a heated argument, though he was acquitted in 3 separate trials. In nearby Bonaventure Cemetery, the spooky, Spanish moss-draped cemetery where the famous Bird Girl statue is from the cover of the book, visitors report hearing laughter and conversations and a pack of ghost dogs that haunt its grounds. Several ghost sightings were reported at Fort Pulaski, a Civil War fort, during the filming of the movie, Glory. The Pirate's House restaurant, thought to be one of the inspirations for Treasure Island, is said to be haunted by a gruff sailor and a pirate named Captain Flint. And Anna Powers, a scorned lover, is said to be a permanent resident in room 204 of the 1790 hotel. 2 Gettysburg, PA is the site of one of the most massive Civil War battles that resulted in 51,000 deaths, and all 40 miles of its battlefield are thought to have paranormal activity. Ghosts are said to turn up in photos taken in the town from time to time, including the ghost of Confederate General Robert E. Lee. Civil War buffs have reported ghost sightings and the sounds of phantom cannon fire there during reenactments. Imagine how confusing that must be for the ghosts. Their spirit energy is trapped there, and now they find the war is still raging on nearly 150 years later. One of the most eerie tales from Gettysburg comes from 2 school administrators at the offices of Gettysburg College, which was once the site of a field hospital. When the doors opened, they saw the field hospital, with amputations in progress. 3 Salem, Mass. Famous for its vicious witch trials in the 1600s, Salem is thought to be haunted by the spirits of 19 witches, who were put to death for their alleged crimes. And the spirit of Farmer Giles Corey, also accused of witchcraft, is said to haunt the Howard Street Cemetery. A sighting is considered an omen of something bad to come. 4 New Orleans, Louisiana has voodoo and slavery in its roots, and limestone in its geography, creating a perfect elixir for the spirit world. Marie Laveau, the voodoo queen of New Orleans, is thought to be the city's most famous ghost. She is buried in the St. Louis Cemetery on the edge of the French Quarter, and if you need to ask her for a favor, legend has it that all you have to do is knock on her crypt 3 times. 5 After St. Augustine, San Antonio is one of the oldest cities in the U.S., and ghost stories have been floating around for hundreds of years. The Alamo, the site of the famous battle between Mexican and Texan troops that claimed the life of Davy Crockett, has seen many deaths, and some still claim to see apparitions patrolling the roof and hear prisoners moaning. Many buildings along the River Walk are said to be haunted, including the Alamo Street Restaurant and Theater. A section of railroad tracks just south of San Antonio, near the San Juan Mission, is said to be haunted by the ghosts of children who were killed more than 50 years ago when their bus stalled on the tracks. 6 St. Augustine, Florida, the nation's oldest city, has a long history and reputation for being haunted, Nichols explained. Not just because of its history, but also because of its geography. There is a lot of limestone, which is porous, letting water and the spirits pass through. One of its most famous haunts is the Castillo de San Marcos, a star-shaped fort, where the spirits of soldiers, and a love triangle past, may still roam. A colonel's wife was apparently having an affair with his chief officer, and when the colonel found out, the lovers were never seen again. Years later, they found bones in a dungeon. And, to this day, some people still see the ghost of the woman, Dolores, and smell her rose-scented perfume, the very perfume that may have given her love away. 7 Charleston is one of those good, old southern cities, where there's so much history, from the Civil War to pirates and voodoo, the ghosts never want to leave. Plus, 2 rivers run through it, providing liquid fuel for a ghostly fire. At the Brick House and the 13th Step, legend has it that the ghosts of scorned lovers linger. Guests at the Battery Carriage House Inn may find their room already taken. Some male guests have reported waking to see a man standing by their bed, while some female guests have reported a male ghost, a hem, in their bed. 8. Chicago, where gangsters and Confederate soldiers once roamed, sits on several fault lines as well as Lake Michigan, which makes it a perfect corridor for the paranormal. There are over 6,000 Confederate soldiers buried at Oakwood Cemetery during the Civil War, and strange figures have been reported there. 9. San Francisco, like Portland, has fault lines and water working in its ghostly favor. And at Alcatraz, the damp, punishing island prison where some of the most notorious prisoners were sent, some say there are inmates serving not just life, but eternity. 10. There are several fault lines under Portland, which is also situated on the Columbia River. 2 criterion that make it a perfect haunting ground. One of the city's most famous haunts is the White Eagle Café, a former brothel, hotel and boarding house.